that's that. Well, we'll talk about Raw, which was the go-home show for Night of Champions. And really, this is the week that most people, or a lot of people that watch Raw, are beginning to say, screw Raw, I want to watch football instead. Which is evidenced by the rating this week, as the Raw rating was a 2.7, I think.
Well, to be fair, I think that this Raw was an in between. You know how some shows have where it doesn't really pertain to anything, and it's kind of just
But yeah, but this is supposed to be the last build of the pay-per-view. This is the show you want people to watch. But see, the thing is that WWE knows Monday Night Football is coming up. Monday Night Football always hurts WWE in ratings. So they should have known we need to advertise something for this show to get people to watch. See, the thing was that Monday Night Football game was a blowout. And by the time that Raw came on, that game was basically over. So people could have turned it to Raw, but instead they chose not to. And that's because last week, how did Raw end going into this week? It's John Cena coming out on top. It's like we've seen that for the past 6 years. So it's like nothing new. And this show starts out with Alberto Del Rio in the ring. He says some stuff. Bret Hart comes out. They have a back and forth, which Alberto Del Rio, he seems like I think he's very good on the mic. He just seems really comfortable. He can come up with just funny sayings where he was like, Alberto Del Rio is tired of, or something like illegal Canadians hopping over the border, and then he's hiring them for cheap labor. Something like that. I forgot exactly what he said, but it was awesome. I love that line. Del Rio can just have those funny lines like that. But of course, Cena comes out. He does stupid comedy. And then eventually it leads to John Cena and Bret Hart versus Alberto Del Rio and Ricardo Rodriguez, which I had no interest in seeing that match. I don't know why they constantly book Bret Hart to wrestle when a lot of the fans just know he's not going to actually wrestle because he can't.
and on a side note, he's a fantastic wrestler in his day. He did some awesome things, but there's a point in time where it's like enough. I don't mind him if he was the general manager. I don't mind if he was a coach. I don't mind if he was behind the scenes. But it's like, come on. I mean, I wouldn't mind shaking the guy's hand and getting an autograph from him because he's a great wrestler. Growing up watching him. But the thing is, it's just there's got to be a point in time where you say enough. Just like with Flair and Hogan and stuff. So I mean, for that to be a tag team, that's not acceptable, and they know that. I think that for the most part that they put a lot of this stuff and a lot of these matches and segments in the back burner for the last segment, and that's what I thought that they did for this Raw. But we'll get to that. So
I mean, really, though, it's not Bret making the decision like, hey guys, put me to wrestle tonight. It's just Ryder's coming up like, Bret, how would you like to wrestle? And he's going to like, how would you like to just put the guy in a sharpshooter and make him tap out? He's going to be like, sure, why not? I mean, it's more just to, send the fans home happy, even though it was in the middle of the show. But it's like, just make that the dark segment. Like, really, I don't know what I'd do with Cena and Del Rio on the show, just have them go back and forth on the mic. But, I mean, throwing Bret Hart in there for no reason.
Well, they were in Ottawa, Toronto, right? Or Ottawa.
I know, but see, that's the thing. That's the only reason. They just wanted to do it so they could get a pop from the fans. Give them
I wouldn't have minded if he just came out there and punked someone out and walked out, and everybody cheered, Bret. And that would have been fine because they're in Ottawa. So, and you leave it at that. Just for that, just for the fact of that, but.
Yeah, that would be later on in the show. Next up, we had Riley and Morrison beating Swagger and Dolph. I didn't care for this match. Obviously, the whole story is Dolph and Swagger don't get along. And yeah, I mean,
I'm not really interested in the Swagger and Dolph thing, but I am really impressed with Riley and Morrison and how Morrison has grown, especially how Riley's from what he's come from. Like I could care less about him when he was with Miz, because Miz was just explosive at the time, and Riley with his whole A-Ride thing was just not working. But I don't care how boring the match was to a point, but with what Riley did, that kind of, I enjoyed it with him in it because just from where he came. But beyond that, it was just like, who cares about Swagger and Dolph? You guys have kind of already buried them, which you shouldn't have done, because they are talented. But, it's a little too late, and so are the fans really feeling that feud.
Well, I actually expected them to push Alex Riley more than they did. And then, because he was getting great reactions when he was facing The Miz. But then, I don't know why I even thought that they'd do something with him, because once Miz beat him clean in that tournament, they've done nothing with him since then.
Yeah, but I don't think he's buried yet. I think if they give him a title.
Oh no, he's dead. I forgot about him. I mean, I literally forgot Alex Riley was even on the show. Just like John Morrison. I mean, they just don't push guys and they don't keep it up. And that I'm going to the last segment, but what really pissed me off was when like Triple H says we listen to the fans. It's like bullshit. Morrison gets a great reaction. Kofi Kingston can get a great reaction. Evan Bourne can get a great reaction. Do you push those guys? No. You pull the rug out from underneath them, and then the fans don't like them. You say, look, they're not getting a reaction. It's like bullshit. A couple weeks ago they were.
I think what it is that I think that what they come to a realization is if they make this change that they know they need to make, it's going to involve them to turn this company completely around and start from the bottom to the top, not in ratings, but in the sense of rebuilding the industry for the WWE, and they know that, and I think they're buying their time, and it's wearing thin, and they're going to have to get to that point, and they know it. So they're just doing the same old song and dance that we've all seen 100 million times, and not pushing people that we know are really good, and we don't know why they didn't push them in the first place,
If I'm honest, I have no idea what the first part you said had to do with the last part. So I guess I just don't understand the point. So like, what are you saying? Like WWE realize they have to change, but they don't?
Well, no. You were saying that guys that they don't push.
I'm saying that when Triple H said we listen to the fans, I'm saying bullshit, because guys that get great reactions, they just pull the rug out from underneath them.
And listening to the fans is the change that the fans are asking for. Because the fans do watch ROH. They do watch Dragon's Gate.
Not many.
Not very many, but there's a good amount out there, I think, personally. But or at least see one or two shows of something they've never seen before. So I don't know. My point was that well, you know what? Let's just go ahead.
So bullshit to that Triple H remark, but we'll get to the final segment later. Miz and Truth are still not happy with Triple H, even though they gave him the tag title shot for this Sunday. But they said they'll win the titles. Miz then beat Kofi Kingston. Skull Crushing finale. The match was pretty good. It was fine. I don't have any problems with it. But I've seen that match before. It seems like a million times. So I didn't really get into the match at all. Yeah, I wish it would have been somebody. Kofi Kingston's good. I would have preferred to see Evan Bourne though. But I mean, whatever. I'm looking forward to the tag match on Sunday, which I guess is all that matters.
No, I am too, and I hope that they do something with it. We have a tag division again, and we can, because I miss it. I like the tag team. It seems like they have more fun when they're doing that, because it seems like heel and face don't really matter as much as it does if you're going for the World Heavyweight title.
So, next up we had Lawler having another mystery opponent against Nexus. This time it was Sheamus. So, Sheamus obviously ended up destroying both of the guys. I didn't see any point to this at all. Lawler and Ryder already beat Nexus last week. Why are they continuing this feud? I don't know. I don't give a shit either.
That was that match, and the other match was the other match we're going to get to. That was just a rehash from SmackDown. So, or no, one was rehashed from Raw, and one was rehashed from SmackDown. So it was like, why are we seeing something we've already seen?
So next we had the Cena and Brett match against Ricardo Rodriguez and Alberto Del Rio. So obviously Bret Hart ended up locking in the sharpshooter on Ricardo. His only spot of the match. And it's fine, but I just feel like this was pointless. I didn't need to see it. It was just there for the fans live. And it's not something that, I mean, I never wanted to see Bret Hart in the ring again after his match with Vince. And to constantly put him in there, not constantly, because it's been a while since he's been back, but I mean, I just feel like there's no point in this at all. And I didn't feel like it built to the Cena Del Rio match for Night of Champions at all. And it made me want to see that match any more than I wanted to before. So I didn't give a shit about the match at all.
I don't think that they're pushing, not pushing, but making Del Rio look good at all. They make him look like he's just a complete pushover when he's going to go against Cena, because I think Cena's got over on him twice, right? Or no.
Cena, I don't think he's ever beaten. I mean, he's never beaten Del Rio, but he has sent him packing. Like last week, he did it with the FU. I don't think he really got his hands on Del Rio much on Raw, but
It's just a terrible build-up.
yeah. Well, I mean, anytime Cena does comedy, it's awful. So, and that's what he tried to do to build the match. So, yeah, I have no interest in seeing that title match at all. So next we had Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, champion versus champion match, which they did just have on SmackDown. And this match, I absolutely hated this match as well, because Orton was just constantly trying to go after Henry. And it was like, it just pissed me off so much. It was so annoying. I didn't care for the match. Cody Rhodes ended up winning, which surprised the hell out of me. Why? I don't know. Do I think they'll do anything with Cody Rhodes? No. There are people out there that think that this is going to lead to Cody Rhodes getting a big singles push. I'm like, really? Have we not seen Orton lose before and nothing happened to it? Have we not seen guys beat some top guys and then do nothing, go nowhere? Yes, we've seen it a lot of times. So I have no faith in that. I hated this match. It did not make me want to see Orton and Henry, although they're building up Henry really well. That I can say. They're doing a good job of that. But quite frankly, I don't want to see Mark Henry wrestle. I don't care for the guy at all. So, yeah, not looking forward to that match really at all either.
I don't know. I think Henry deserves it. I mean, what have they really given?
It's going to be a shitty match, and that's more important to me than a guy deserves it. It's like, I hate fat people wrestling. Like, I'll just say it because most of them suck. So, I mean, can you prove me wrong? Henry hasn't done so before. I mean,
He's not really fat.
Yeah, but he's not really movable either. I mean, I hate tall guys that can't move, or fat guys that can't move. Either way, because let me think. I heard an interview. I think it was with Lance Storm, where he said he hates working with big guys because you can't do much with them. You know, and it's like, you know, you can't do mat wrestling because then that doesn't look right. So you're sitting there and you just got a bump for them the whole time until you come back. And it doesn't make for an interesting match at all. So, I mean, if Orton's been on such a roll this year that he might be able to pull out a good match with Mark Henry. Mark Henry isn't the worst wrestler I've ever seen. I mean, I will give him credit. He has done pretty well so far. His matches with Sheamus have been decent, at least. So it's not like
he hasn't really been that bad on the mic.
No, he's awesome on the mic. I'll give him there. He's awesome. Listening to his promos is good, but I know that when it comes to match time, he ain't gonna deliver. So, you got anything else to say, or should we move on to the main event?
Let's move on to the event, yeah. I don't know if really a main.
So.